It is Wally Lukashinsky and Pablo Iglesias here joining you today on the Damn Sports Show. Corey wrapping up his vacation in Florida. We'll have him back on Wednesday, but for the next 2 days, it is Pablo and Wally time.
So I have a real quick question though. Should we? And I can always call in, or I can tweet. I can spam the chat too on the YouTube channel. Should we refer to Corey as like Florida Man or something like that? Should he be Florida Corey?
Florida Corey.
Florida. Well, has he been able to? Would he be able to like live up to the Florida type of name? Florida Man.
I get the idea that first of all he's just like dripping in sunscreen.
Yeah.
I don't imagine that he's a guy that goes out there and chances it too much.
Yeah.
I imagine like the on the nose, like old school looking nerd kind of look right now.
Oh man, I'm trying to think too. Well, have you ever heard of the Florida Man trend? Really quick.
Where it's like it's basically a different world. It's a different universe.
Well, so if you go online and just try to figure out, like, you put in your birth date, date, month, date, and year in Florida Man, like the headlines are just absurd. I kind of want to do this now. If it's good enough to see, what was it? If it's good enough to read on air, like where we won't have to, no one's gonna have to.
Florida Man and see what's new in the world of Florida.
Well, no. So you put in your birthday all the way down to the year. So you put in Florida Man, and then my birthday is May 14th. I'm going to age myself 1995. So I'm
30's a new 20.
Yeah. So, and then you put in headline. So then you can see, here we go. There it is. The Florida Man Birthday Challenge too. FloridaManBirthday.org. We're going to give them free pub here too. So you put in your birthday, and then it's an internet trend, and it just shows you all the things that happened on the, with the headlines that are based off of Florida Man. From now my birthday, May 14th. Here we go. A Florida man got into a fight with a tree. A man who was asked to stay away from them after shouting at the students at the school had a topless fight with a tree. The man was arrested in Milton on May 5th. He was charged with disturbing the peace and has $100 bail, according to Santa Rosa County Penitentiary.
Who won the fight? Is the tree still standing?
If a tree falls in the forest, does it punch back?
Interesting.
What a great show we're already having. This is great sports talk that everybody needs to know.
We're TikTok stars, too. So just before we started, you had me film some kind of trend, and I got to, again, make myself look a little old here.
Yeah.
I don't do TikTok. I'm not on there. Best I did was during the fasting frenzy going on and being like, talk at my phone for a minute. This was a new world. We did some goofy handshake.
So to pull back the curtain for those of you that are big on the TikTok sphere. Also, hey, Pablo Iglesias from ESPN Madison filling in. My main job on top of hosting and getting to chop it up with Wally over here and call this a day's work is also the digital content specialist. So I have to make sure that we're always on our social game. And that sometimes that means getting with the trends. And as soon as I knew that I was going to be filling in with you, I saw that this TikTok trend, I believe this song is like, the song is called Illegal, and it's like I don't know. It's long story short, this song and this trend and everything is totally like tween. So to pull back the curtain a little bit too.
15 years beyond us.
Yes, at least. So this is like probably, honestly, if the Beaver Dam high schoolers are listening to the show, this is probably a trend that they're all doing right now in the summer. So the goofballs that Wally and I are in my creative social brain, I wanted to try to do this to be like, hey, because I am, the lyrics are, what was it? You were recommended to me by some people. Basically, you're meeting somebody new or whatever it is. You're shaking hands. Because I'm usually not on the Damn Sports Show, you can go watch it too on my Twitter account, all that stuff on TikTok, my Twitter or X account at Pop Talk Sports.
Good play.
Go see it. It's just goofy, but I gotta say, for a guy who's not on TikTok, a guy who's not on like the social spheres of that, you ate, man. You absolutely delivered.
It's one of those, sometimes you have it or you don't. And I think that
you've always had it. You've always had it.
Added to the resume, so keep that in mind. When my year comes up and they want to keep me around, TikTok star, it's on the precipice.
Yeah, put it on special skills. I would say put it on the special skills expertise like column. You don't want to put it right in the main on the main section on your resume. You want to put it like as a little side thing. Fun fact, actually, I had put stand-up comedy as an expertise or a little bit of a side hustle.
I feel like you would do well at that.
I bombed actually. Luckily I had friends and family. I just couldn't deal with silence.
A's or F is what they say. You either want to have really great sets or awful sets.
Yeah.
So if you had an F, I mean, that can be viewed as an A.
I guess
Gets people talking.
I guess the other side of it too, I'm not disappointed that out of the class, so we did this like session too. Out of everybody that was part of that stand-up comedy class, I was not the biggest name to come out of there. If anyone else who's listening out here, another TikTok star actually, lo and behold, came out of that one. He's known for his impressions. He's been on the red carpet with a bunch of Hollywood stars. Matt Friend, who is like, if you want to look him up, he is a big impressionist. There we go. I keep calling him impersonator. That's the wrong word. He's a huge impressionist, and that was a guy that I ended up doing. Like, it's crazy. It's like you're in single A with Shohei Ohtani.
Well, yeah, and that happened.
And that's what it was.
That, and you just get dusted out there?
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't even a competition. If anything, I'm actually going to flex a little bit here too. We were sitting backstage. We were getting ready for like our big like end of seminar show, and he was nervous. And I'm like, hey man, listen, like whatever it is, you've got that it factor. And he told me that's what helped him succeed in the show. So you know what?
You got the it.
He had the it.
Well, you obviously did too.
He had the it, and clearly he's doing pretty well for himself now, with shaking hands with some of Hollywood's biggest stars and being out at the biggest events and co-hosting the NHL awards, all that stuff, man.
Wow, good for him. Well,
Yeah.
You know what, too? Somebody else is doing well. We got to give one final shout-out before we get rolling here. The Florida man himself is in our chat on YouTube right now. Gave a shout-out to you for holding it down.
Oh, boy.
He says he hasn't tussled with a tree yet, but I suppose he has 2 days left. So, Corey,
He's still got some time.
fight that tree. Make sure you get home safely. We're excited to have you back in studio. And we have a busy day in studio today. So over the next 3 weeks, Corey and I are going to be welcoming in, like we did in the winter sports season, going into spring. We're having members of the track team. We're having the coaches from the track team. We have baseball, softball, athletes, and coaches coming in alike over the next 3 weeks. It is going to be a Beaver Dam palooza. And today we're excited. We're going to have Mike Price in for the second half of the show. Hear a little bit about him, how his first year went with the team. 3 different finalists that got to compete in the state tournament. We'll have 2 of them in studio this week too. But we start today, before we get to that, the Milwaukee Brewers are poised, and it feels like poised is the right word, to go on a potential run this year. And Jeff Passan was on Wilde and Tausch earlier today, and he was suggesting that the Brewers are closer than we may think from being a World Series contender.
I think the Brewers are one big bat away from being a legitimate World Series contender. Like, I think that's what the ceiling of this team is. And I think they could probably use another relief arm, though, honestly, the way that McGill and Mears and Uribe have pitched this year, the way that Ashby has looked lately in particular, it's like, man, they keep adding. And they keep getting better.
A big bat away from potentially being a World Series contender, Pablo. I think even from 3-4 weeks ago, you look back and you could see this team before the Miz hype train that got here. It felt like this team was a little bit further away.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the Miz juice in the air, but it feels like the Brewers right now are truly close to knocking on the door. But is one big bat what you think that they need? Is that really what's standing between them and potentially playing in deep in October?
You know, I feel like that's always been the key. That's always been what's kept them outside of the picture for years. I don't think what Jeff said. I mean, what Jeff said is, like, even if you go back and watch on the YouTube stream too, is that Jason Wilde's jaw, like, I think dropped. Understandably too, where it was like, for somebody like Jeff Passan to just come out and say that, like, he's not just saying that just to fill air. That's a legitimate statement to be a legitimate contender. And I do feel like that's almost what has stopped the Brewers for so many years, even down to the season where they made it to Game 7 against the Dodgers in the NLCS. They had good teams. They had really, really strong lineups. But I think let's look at the last 2 seasons where they get knocked out. They have home advantage on the wild card rounds. It was star power or lack thereof that ended up costing them. And I'm not saying like it's Christian Yelich isn't a star. It's great to see his, I guess, reascension, or how, you want to,
it's been a big
good.
bounce back here.
Yeah, a bounce back. That's a perfect way to describe it. And we really never knew that after his back surgery is Christian Yelich ever going to be the same. And it's great to see that, one, he has that bounce back. Jackson Chourio is going to be a star for years and years to come. He's going to be fun. But I do think that it never hurts to have that solidified all-star, that solidified big power name. And I think the Brewers, and we talked about this too on Friday, maybe the Packers should do this as well. Take a note out of the Bucs book with a grain of salt, but go take those swings. Get a big name, because if a baseball insider, one of the best, if not the best, is saying that you are one big bat away from being a legitimate contender, I don't know what else Mark Atanasio and Matt Arnold need to just shake it out of them and go pick up that phone and figure out a freaking way to get an all-star, to get a big bat.
And there's a big part of it, too, at least for me, where in a lot of years past, where even if the pitching had been strong, you miss that star power at the top of the rotation, too. Now you feel like you have a guy in Miz that if you are in a 5-game series, you can throw him for 2 of those games, and you feel really good about those odds. You throw in a veteran bat, too, because I know that last year it leaves a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths, losing Willie Adames the way they did, where they said, hey, we're going to give this guy standing O in the last game of the regular season because we're not even going to pretend to entertain the idea that we're going to spend money in-house. So to have this opportunity this year that's kind of developed, where I think a lot of us, at least myself, I can say, I thought that they would be a very competitive team. Mm-hmm. I didn't think that there'd be a world where Jeff is going to be going on Wilde and Tausch and saying, hey, team is a player away from being a legitimate player in the NL.
Yep.
And now we're talking about a 4-game lead in the NL Central, which is far from insurmountable. And you're going to have the Cubs 2-3 series down the back half of this season, too. If they can find a way to get within 2 games at the break, it feels like this entire season has been turned on its head. The first month, do you remember how miserable? Yeah, the first couple weeks was like sunshine and rainbows, and then it just wasn't.
It felt like that we had already determined what this team looked like. We knew that without Willie Adames, are they going to look good? And, I mean, it's almost part of it, too, where you get a rookie that sparks it. I mean, going back to, my roots as a diehard White Sox fan in 2005, may rest in peace, Bobby Jenks, when the closer was brought up, man, it's a bittersweet thing, obviously, to talk about now, but it's those memories that just come back. When Bobby Jenks was brought up, for those who may not be familiar, a closer that threw 100 miles an hour is not, or it is a very common thing, rather, today. But in 2005, a guy who was throwing triple digits consistently and effectively, that was a really rare occasion. And that almost gave a different spark for the White Sox when they went on to win the World Series. Now, am I predicting that that's exactly how it's going to work out? Is the Miz going to be the Bobby Jenks to start a run for the Brewers? I don't know. But it is cool that there is juice. There is life. There is all of a sudden, you don't know what's going to happen when you get these Titans of the Los Angeles Dodgers coming in. First game's tonight. You get, You get Yamamoto tonight, and then you get Kershaw tomorrow. But Kershaw and Miz, that's going to be that's must see.
Families.
That is must see for sure. Must listen to. And yeah, for those back in the Madison side, home of the Brewers, you can listen to them there. But that's going to be a fun one. But going back to your point is where we were. If I would have thought that we would have been having this conversation, or if you told me that we'd be having this conversation 2 months ago, that I feel like that the Brewers have a legitimate shot to go toe-to-toe with the Dodgers, even if it's at home regardless, I would have called you a liar. I would not have believed you, because it's nothing against this team. It's nothing against Pat Murphy, but I thought really the cracks of not getting an all-star, or not an all-star, but not getting like a marquee, big, like fearful, powerful name. I mean, almost I think that was one of the reasons why it just kind of felt like that the Diamondbacks were able to just go in so confidently. Like, genuinely, I can't remember if it was a quote or if it was just like something that was felt in the locker room, but it was like, who do they really have to fear? Like, again, it's not like that they're bad ball players, but it's like when you looked at the Mets when they won Game 3, that top lineup, you had Brandon Nimmo, then you had Francisco Lindor, and then you had Pete Alonso, unfortunately, who put the stake in every Brewers fan's heart at American Family Field. Those are the top 3 hitters, and we know those names, especially if you're a huge baseball fan. Everybody knows those names.
Well, Pat Murphy even went further into your point. About a month ago, he got himself into some hot water because in post-game, he goes out and basically says, we didn't spend money. So they were going to have tampered expectations to a certain extent, and a lot of people like, you can't say that. We might be thinking it, but you can't say that. And lucky for him, what's the team done to reward him since then but play their best ball of the season? But we are at that point now where you're asking yourself, if it is a move, then how aggressive are you willing to get? How far into your, I was going to say prospect pool are you willing to shell out to possibly bring in a veteran name? It's exciting times, though. The fact that we are talking about this right before the All-Star break, where a month and a half ago, you wouldn't have been the only one calling people liars. I would have been right there next to you on that, Pablo.
I got one more thing, too, and it's
Please do.
when you think about the Bucks, too, and it's a risk. It's a risk of shelling out your prospects, but look at what the Cubs did in 2016. I mean, and they were the first team that invented this. Other teams in general, en route to a championship, sometimes have to give up certain pieces, and that might mean your draft capital. That might mean some top prospects, and the Cubs knew that with Aroldis Chapman, maybe they keep him around, or maybe he's just a 3-month rental. But sometimes you have to look at it from that perspective too. If you really, really want to do some damage come October, sometimes it's
you gotta
worth
pay the piper.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, look, here's a quote that my buddy loves to pull out whenever he is at the blackjack table. Scared money don't make money.
It's the truth.
That's it. You got to spend a little bit.
Well, Pablo Iglesias is joining me today on the Damn Sports Show. We are going to step aside for our first break today. When we come back, we're going to be playing the top 3 plays of the week here. A lot of those coming from the Legion baseball game Corey and I covered last week. We also have a second block edition of Who's Hot, Who's Not, because we have Coach Mike Price of the Beaver Dam track and field team joining us today in the 3rd and 4th block. But that's coming up next here on the Damn Sports Show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV. Attention sports fans. Whether you're chasing the hottest rookie card, that next big autographed sports card, or looking for expert card services, Real Sports Cards is here for you. For everything from sports to Pokemon cards, visit the store in downtown Waupun today. Go to the Apple Store or Google Play and download the Real Sports Cards app for all live online card breaks. Watch, collect, and win from anywhere. Real Sports Cards, where sports fans come to play.
Here, rooting for the Brew Crew because we're from Milwaukee too. Tastes like Miller time.
Collect new Brewers swag designed by Wisconsin artists at T-Shirt Tuesdays, presented by Hupie and Abraham. Be one of the first 10,000 at the game on August 12th for a special shirt by Emily Balsley. Get tickets at brewers.com/giveaways.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball and Miller Lite.
Looking for a pharmacy that goes the extra mile? Marshfield Medical Center Beaver Dam Pharmacy is here for you. Enjoy short wait times, the convenience of delivery right to your door, or quick and easy curbside pickup. They also offer bubble packaging, vaccinations, and more. Plus, they accept most insurances, making it even easier to get the care you need. Call them today at 920-356-0040 for more information. Marshfield Medical Center Beaver Dam Pharmacy. Your health, their priority.
Step into a world so fine, shiny floors that truly shine, tiles and wood you'll adore, get it all at Professional Floor. Showers, blinds, counters too, everything just like brand new. They've got what you're looking for, only here at Professional Floor.
Okay, full disclosure, we still don't sing here, but since I've got the mic, let me drop some knowledge. At Professional Floor Covering, we've got the best brands and styles for every project. Whether you're looking for cabinets, blinds, flooring, or more, we're here to make your home look amazing. Check out our showroom to explore our wide range of luxury vinyl plank flooring. Need a bathroom makeover? We've got custom marble and ceramic showers and countertops to elevate your space. And if you're thinking kitchen upgrade, our cabinet and porcelain tile selection is top notch. Take a look online at proflr.com and stop in to visit us at 713 Park Avenue. Time to hand the mic back.
At Marshfield Medical Center Beaver Dam Orthopedic Clinic, advanced care meets personalized expertise. Their team of skilled general and specialty orthopedic surgeons is dedicated to helping you move better, offering both surgical and non-surgical solutions. They specialize in hip and knee replacement, as well as joint revision, shoulder replacement, foot and ankle reconstruction, and hand and upper extremity care. Call 920-219-4009 today or visit marshfieldclinic.org/beaverdam to learn more.
Breathe easier with JB Mechanical's air quality solutions. Say goodbye to dust mites, pet dander, and pollutants in your home. JB Mechanical's team of experts will assess your home's needs and recommend the best solutions to ensure the air you breathe is healthy and safe. A properly designed, installed, and maintained HVAC system can improve your air quality. Poorly done, it can spread dust, allergens, and bacteria. Invest in your comfort today. Call online at jbmechllc.com. Your proud trained.
If you're looking for a one-stop shop for all things sports cards, head on over to Real Sports Cards in Waupun or check out their app. Whether you're into sports cards or Pokemon cards, Real Sports Cards has you covered. With live break streaming right on the app, you can grab individual cards on the go. Be part of a group and watch for your favorite players and teams. As packs get opened, go to the Apple or Google Play Store today. Look for that orange logo and take your collection to the next level with Real Sports Cards in Waupun, your local resource for all things sports cards, Pokemon cards, and more. We now have, courtesy of Corey Sparks, he can't go anywhere. He still has his fingerprints all over this thing.
What's he doing now?
What's he doing is right, because he went out and made sure we still have top 3 plays of the week. So without further ado, courtesy of Mr. Sparks, here are our high school top 3 plays of the week.
Your top 3 high school plays of the week. Count the 2 down, run around third. Ready? Here he comes. Waving a miss. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. That's 4 Ks through 3 innings. It's still 2-0. 0-1. This one is pulled to left center field. That gets down into the gap and it's going to roll all the way to the wall. Hard turnaround first. Frankie is standing up in second. He's going for third. Here comes the relay. Frankie's in for a triple. No hesitation from number 9.
Well, that's the important thing, too, because if he hesitated, it was me. Cutoff throw goes to the shortstop. Cutoff man immediately goes to second. Looks there. Wait a minute.
1-0. This is slapped into right center field. It gets down. No extras tonight. There's the game winner. Frankie, the walk-off hero. And Beaver Dam Post 146 White Construction is victorious 5-4 here on a Monday night.
Carson Frankie delivering the big hit there. He had a couple big hits. You saw the triple earlier where, without even hesitation, rounding second, going to third. And that was important because there was only 1 out, so he was able to get that run home. Huge night for him. Huge night for Legion Baseball as we'll be back in action. Aiden Voigt and I will be out on the diamond, Beaver Dam High School's baseball diamond, that is, tomorrow at 6:30. So make sure you tune in for another American Legion matchup.
Have you made the 26-man? Did you make the 26-man roster?
I should have. I'm pretty sure Coach is just worried about the health at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Bad wheel. I don't know if you had a chance to see that video. The spill at second base.
I saw it. That's why I wanted to double check and see if you ended up making the roster or not.
If there was like 7 different DHs, maybe I had a shot, but I think Coach was comfortable with the team they had. It's his choice, not mine.
Hey, listen. Hey, I think if you clear waivers, you got anywhere. You can go anywhere.
I could at this point. I think that I've been having calls. I've been fielding them. The agent's taking care of that for me.
If there's any, I'm sure, Jeff, maybe you're the missing bat.
I could be the big bat, literally a big bat.
I think you might be.
There might just be something here.
I think there's also a fly here too right now.
It's been literally just hovering between us. I don't know what it says about us, but I've been keeping an eye on that myself.
We're pretty distracted all over the place now. But hey,
it's right, and that fly's not going to be who's hot, who's not. But what we do on Monday shows. During the fourth block, we usually round it out. But today we have Coach Mike Price for the Beaver Dam track and field team joining us here in just a few moments. So we have our who's hot, who's not here in the second block. And it's pretty self-explanatory, Pablo. So I feel like I have to at least be polite and offer you. Do you have a who's hot of the week right now?
The question is, before I get into this, can I parlay it?
I'd let you.
Okay, all right. So this is super niche. If you were listening to Wilde and Tausch this morning, Hunter Vaughn filling in. Also a huge contributor to the Damn Sports Show as well. Hunter Vaughn bringing up in Whoa Hunter, his spin on Whoa Nelly, typically Jesse Nelson's segment. Hunter brought up that he goes to the theater, or recently went to the theater with his mother-in-law while his wife was out, she had like different plans. She was out shopping. She had lunch plans already. So he went to a 3-hour movie with his mother-in-law.
Respect, honestly.
Exactly. A lot of people, you know who's not, I'll go with who's not in this before we say who's hot. Who's not? The people against it. Who's hot? I'm with Hunter on this one. This is, look, I'm a single bachelor right now, but you know what? In certain situations, whether it was like, meeting the parents for the first time or in general, I don't know what it is. Parents love me, so I am so with Hunter on this one. I would totally hang out because it's like, if anything, it's the aura that I give off, is that people want to be around me whenever I meet parents. I don't know what it is. It's not like I try to put on this, pomp and circumstance show, or I'm not like a Barnum and Bailey circus jumping through fiery hoops. I'm just being me.
Movies, man. I was just having a movie buddy. There's worse things than going with a mother-in-law.
Exactly. So I'm like, you know what? I'm with Hunter on this one, believe it or not.
Build that rapport.
I've been in situations, like I said, just in general, where I know parents love me. Parents are like, oh man, they're like, it's partly because of what we do and what I do. I work in sports, I'm probably talking to anybody's dad, and all of a sudden it's like I've gotten certain reactions where like they've told me, they're like, I've never seen my dad like that. I've never seen my dad react like this one. And I'm like,
compliment.
I got aura like that. I got aura. I met one of our teammates' fathers too, just out of the blue. And it was the first time I had ever met him, and he was like, this is the guy right here. This is the guy. I want to hang out with him. I want to get to know him. I want you to please stay in my life, be my best friend. And I'm like, why not?
So who's hot of the week? Hunter, indirectly Pablo.
I think so. Well, no, I'd say Hunter because I'm with him on this one. I got to go with Hunter. If anything, I'm more of I'm the complimentary piece. I say Hunter is hot because of I didn't realize.
Hunter's always hot here.
Hunter's
on the
sizzling.
Damn Sports Show, he's always sizzling.
Hunter is sizzling because of it's Tausch was trying to put him out on a platter. But I am with you, Hunter, 100%.
We stand with you here, Hunter.
100.5, as we call him over at 100.5 ESPN.
Ooh, that's actually nice. I'm going to have to remember that. I'll have to dip my toe in that on Thursday when we introduce him. I'll tell you who's hot this week, Pablo. I'm a heavy man. I'm a big dude. I like my food. Every now and then, I'm willing to go through the drive-thru at McDonald's. I'm not too proud to admit that. Went on Saturday night.
What are you getting, though?
Well, see, I'm a McDouble. 2 McDoubles. Throw a medium or large fry at it, go Coke. Easy, simple, everybody's happy.
Good stuff.
I was the last person in the drive-thru on Saturday. And what does that mean? I got a bag of fries.
Whole bag?
When I'm saying a large fry, the equivalent of 4 fries. Guy comes up to the window, we're closing, man. If you want fries, we'll throw them at you. Sure, I'll take some extra fries.
Just literally, they casted fries.
You would have been able to. I literally was swimming in there. It was one of those family bags that they just threw. It was like the Five Guys style, where it's just all littered on the bottom. Don't even pretend to put it in a container.
See, when I think of when you say swimming in it, I just immediately go to DuckTales and think of not Darkwing Duck, Scrooge McDuck when he's just swimming in gold coins or the dollar bill.
That always looks so comfortable too, until you imagine the actual idea of diving into metal.
Yeah, but it's cartoons, and definitely a timely reference for our crowd.
Everybody knows Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah,
that's all
come
I know.
on.
How about who's not?
Who's not? Who you got?
I'll tell you, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they had unfortunate history that I have to relay because I talk too much about that team as it is. But they went out and they shut out the St. Louis Cardinals 3 straight times. Awesome, yip yip hooray. They then followed it up by being the first team in Major League Baseball history to not allow a run in one series, to go and get swept and not score one in the following series. So even when you get excited, they try to pull you back in. They go out and get shut out 3 straight times on the West Coast trip and make some unfortunate MLB history in the process. I'm sick and tired of that team.
There is one who is not that I would also like to call out too. Unfortunately, my ESPN Madison teammate John Weiser is probably not going to be happy with this one, but the way that the Cleveland Guardians have been playing has just been atrocious, unfortunately. Good opportunity for the Brewers to try to hoping that Cleveland could come in and dominate the Cubs over at Wrigley Field. Unfortunately, the Cubs are just hitting right now.
They look very, very strong.
Very tough situation, but I am still happy to see that Stephen Kwan, a former basketball teammate of mine, I have a signed basketball in my living room
Teammate.
For 2025 MLB All-Star Stephen
Once
Kwan.
again, All-Star.
Yes, once again an MLB All-Star and a former basketball pickup teammate of mine from this past holiday season. Did not even know it was Stephen Kwan.
You rub elbows with Pablo Iglesias, good things happen.
Apparently, I'll send the picture too. I'll make sure I'll tag it.
Confirm?
I do have the signed basketball hanging up or sitting in my living room right now on the shelves.
You guys get the win, I imagine, right?
Actually no, it was tough. That was
we
like
don't have to talk about
that was my fourth game I think that day, and the legs were already pretty cooked. I played a game the day I just ran it the day before, and yeah, it was not on my A game.
I was rooting for you.
But I knew that I was like, man, this guy's fast, and I didn't even realize it was Stephen Kwan.
Now all of a sudden, here you go. You have a story forever.
That's it.
Well, we're going to step aside for another break, and when we come back, excited to be joined by Mike Price, the head coach of the boys and girls track and field team here in Beaver Dam. That's next on the other side of the break on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV. welcome back to the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV. Today kicks off a fun few weeks for us here as our shows for the next 3 weeks or so. We're going to be introducing coaches and athletes from the sports spring season here in Beaver Dam, and we're going to kick off the fun today with Mike Price, the Beaver Dam track and field coach for the boys and girls. Coach, first of all, thank you for joining us, and how are you doing? Summer's time for you. You getting a little bit of a breather?
Last week was a little bit of a breather for time off from summer school, but last week was kind of busy because our daughter just started her job today with The View on ABC, so we're getting her ready and getting her packed up. And
she started, well, you said The View on ABC?
She's going to be on the panel, right?
Should be, yeah.
So you got me excited.
Right. That's still awesome.
She had initially interviewed for an internship, and then through that process, they said, hey, we want you for a full-time job. So she's the executive assistant to the executive producer, and then she's also going to be a production assistant for all the hosts except for Whoopi Goldberg, because she has her own staff and stuff like that.
Well, I was going to say, that's high-level stuff.
Yeah.
You started throwing Whoopi around.
Still in college, students, or
she's going to finish this summer.
Okay.
And then she did an internship last fall on The Daily Show. So from The Daily Show, she got into that. So we're pretty excited for her. But we were just spending time. We wanted to go away, but we was like, knew this was going to happen for her. So we decided to stay home and spend some time with her and before she takes off for the bright lights of New York City again.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to her. I mean, that's fantastic. And naturally, we're excited to talk to you today, too, and talk a little bit about what you've been going through, because this may have been your first season with the Golden Beavers, but you've been around this sport for over 4 decades.
Yep.
So, like, for you, how has the experience of year one been as a Golden Beavers head coach? What have you learned? What's this been like, this transition now?
So this is my first time being the head coach of both boys and girls teams. So in the past, it's either been one gender or the other, or been a co-head coach at a smaller program. So it's just going from like double or triple the amount of kids I have to manage and oversee and keeping track of. And beginning of the year, it's getting to know their names and make sure I get all the names right. So a couple of kids are right off, like in the parent meeting we had, I put their names on the screen and I screwed up one kid's name. And then at the end of the season, I forgot him completely because he was a senior. And beginning of this first meeting and the last meeting we had, it was like, felt bad for this kid that I just forgot his name.
Probably laughed about it, though.
Yeah,
it was probably a full circle moment. Have a little fun with it.
Yep. So.
Well, Coach, I was talking with Wade Bates, our content director. He's really our Energizer Bunny here that makes it so possible that we can cover the sports that we do. And he had mentioned to me that you were somebody that takes an interest in the athletes that are not only podium finishers, but people out there learning the sport, having fun, which is a really terrific thing to hear about someone in your position. How is that drive to coach and mentor kids? Has it been there for you always? Is this something that you've developed and learned that you wanted to do?
It just goes back to when I was an athlete starting out in 5th or 6th grade, and I was 11, 12 years old, and I just started getting involved with sport. And as I got into high school, I just had great coaches who just invested in me and just built me up, and and really spent their time and valued all. My cross country coach was my distance coach in high school, and he was just so welcoming. He and his wife opened their house to us all the time, and we just had a lot of great times. Like just to even allow us to come toilet paper his house and fork his lawn and all that stuff. They knew we were coming. They put a big bowl of candy on the front porch knowing we were coming, and they got pictures of us running down the street. So just that experience that I had as an athlete in high school just has shaped me as a coach, that these kids are giving their time and they're investing in, and whether they're the expectations are still the same, but obviously the ability levels are different. But I want every kid on the team to understand they have a role to play. Either that they're getting the same amount of coaching as the rest of the kids are, and it's just a matter of that they know that they're valued on the team. And I want that to have that be part of our culture, from the coaches and to the athletes and the parents and even all the school staff, that you're there, you're going to be valued. I'm not going to waste your time and not take any of my time or my assistant coaches to invest in them, because eventually they're going to get something out of it, whether it's they may not experience anything from success as an athlete, but there's lifelong learning skills with work ethic and teamwork and all those types of things that you don't teach directly, but it all becomes part of being an athlete, or being working to do your best and striving to achieve goals. So.
I can't speak to Pablo because I imagine Pablo was like really talented in most of his sports in school.
No.
Well, I was one of those players that like I would really appreciate coaches like you because I wasn't any special athlete, but I was out there trying to learn, trying to do my best. So that's an admirable thing. But you see with every single team in any sport, each one has like a unique identity from year to year. When you look at this year specifically, what has the identity been for this Beaver Dam track team?
I think for most of the kids that are like the veterans, the seniors and the juniors that have been around for a while, it's just more of a kind of restarting of the program, kind of establishing a new culture, new expectations from the past. That's the experience that we had going into it, and just trying to build more team morale and a sense of team to get that we're all like. I had to really say, hey, you guys got to be out there at all times. If you're not going to sit in a tent and lounge around, I want you out there supporting each other and building each other up in practice and in the meets, and just trying to do more team building activities and try to do some fun activities that I've done in the past, either as an athlete or as a coach. Bring that just to make it fun for them, so it's not a grind. Because I did this in high school and college, and I understand how much of a grind it is, and being a middle distance runner and distance runner, especially when it gets hot out or it's cold and rainy, and it just really stinks. You're like, but you got to make it fun for them too.
It takes a lot of discipline.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pablo.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was
No,
walking
Coach.
on you.
No, it's all good, Coach. I was going to say, too, like, you clearly have shown, like, how grateful you are for all the experiences that you had coming up as an athlete, and you're trying to pay it forward now. What is it like getting that return from the athletes, whether it's directly or indirectly, if it's a personal thank you or just, like, even a gesture that you can tell that these kids appreciate, like, how much effort that you're putting into, not just to make them successful athletes, but to make the experience as a whole just, enjoyable for them.
Yeah, it was. I was just truly blessed. I think our whole coaching staff was really blessed this year. The kids are just very thankful. We had a great leadership, and they were just end the season just got a lot of thank yous from not just for for myself, but for the coaches as well, just for the time that we put in and just giving back to them and trying to make it fun to share. I like to just share my experiences because, like we alluded to at the beginning before the interview started. I've been around the State Track Coach Association for over 20 years now, and been blessed we have the largest clinic in the country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We get over 1,000 coaches every year coming to Mass in the first week in February, but we just being around like Olympic legends and having opportunities to travel to national conventions and meet like guys and gals from the 1960 Olympic team, and that's like the greatest track team ever, and I bring it back and like, these are my experiences, the people I've met, and I kind of made a little fun thing halfway through the season of trivia contests, like name this athlete that I'm posing with, and kids trying to get them excited about track and field, just kind of bring that element into it too, about see how smart they are, what their knowledge is of Olympic track and field legends or college track and field coaches and athletes as well, and bring that to the program and try to take some things that I've learned from them of what it means to do your best and try to be the best. To get to that point and try to share that experience, what I've learned from them and those experiences that I've had.
You bring up legends, and we've seen almost over the course of this year 3 emerging legends from some of your most talented athletes, Brianna Meyer, Lucy Gonzalez, Taylor Post. What was it like to be able to mentor a group as special as this one?
I think Lucy, we knew had some expectations coming off her from last year as a freshman. She's an outstanding freshman. Brianna just took everything by surprise because we put her on a new pole down a Milton meet, conference quad meet, and she had been trying to get over 9 feet up to that point, up to the first Monday in May, and we got her new pole, and all of a sudden she hits 9 feet finally, and then goes to 9.3, 9.6, and then next thing you know, we're like everybody else is done, and I'm calling the bus driver like, hey, we're gonna get done early tonight, and all of a sudden Brianna's just awesome job. She
another higher,
and she goes up to 10.6. And we were hoping that she would get to that 11.1 to break the school record, but it was just a great experience to watch her kind of come out of nowhere. But she works hard. She's got a great background as a gymnast and powerlift. She's on the powerlifting team and all that other stuff. So she's got the strength and the
Powerlifting team?
Yeah, at the high school.
Oh man,
real deal stuff.
Yeah,
that's legit.
So she's got, she's a sprinter, so she's got the speed, the gymnastics background. So to see her just evolve and just start popping them off and become one of the top vaulters in the state was an awesome thing to see. And Taylor, for him, that kid out there every day grinding away by himself, and he was our most improved male athlete of the year because he just took chunks of time off, even between sectionals in the state. He just took off like 6 seconds in a mile and another 9 seconds in the 800, and just out there working. And we were getting ready for the state meet, and it was hot days, and it was just him out there by himself, and I could just hear him. I'm putting stuff away, kind of end of season kind of stuff, and he's just grinding away, just grunting away on that, doing 400 repeats in his chair, on a hot track.
I
so it's just
don't
amazing to see
understand how
him.
strong your arms have to be actually sprinting on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Like, I can't ever grasp my head, and he's been an inspiration to a lot of athletes around here that are looking and that didn't know that there was an avenue to be involved in sports. I have to ask for me, and then I'll pass off. I've been hogging the mic over here, Pablo. But when you look at the future of this program, for you, what are the ultimate goals down the road?
The ultimate goal right now is to get our numbers up first. We have some more depth to draw from, so we can compete against the bigger schools like the Wanakee and DeForest Giants, and then just to be ultimately I'd like to be in the top 3, if not win a conference championship at some point. But it's going to take a few years to get there, and it's not something I've been through this process before of just coming in the first year, kind of navigating where things are at, what needs to be done, where we're at for equipment and uniforms and all that stuff, and now really. Right now, this is what I want to start working on with program development. So this fall, I'm going to coach a middle school cross country and develop our distance numbers in our cross country program, and just get kids more familiar with me. And then in the next year, I'm hopefully working with the city to do a city Hershey's meet. That's one of the things that I got involved with when I was a kid, was a Hershey's track and field meet up in Green Bay, and qualified for the state meet. And you make it to nationals, and you get to go to Hershey, Pennsylvania, and get to do all that stuff.
I wonder if there was a tie-in to Hershey. That's close to home for me.
So bring something.
How sweet it gets.
How sweet it is.
So do something more from a community standpoint of getting. We have Little League baseball, and Brock and his crew have the youth football program. I want to start doing something like that for track in the summertime and get some younger kids exposed to track and field in the community, and hopefully build the program that way from the ground up. So that's what the other schools that we're kind of chasing after are doing, is they start strong ties to the middle school and the elementary schools, and just grow from that standpoint. That's going to be the work I have ahead of me, but that's the challenge that I want to partake and get involved with, and it gets me more entrenched in the community as well.
For those of you not watching on the stream and just listening, you can just feel the passion, like just from how you're putting it out there. And you've always been that lifelong teacher. You've always learned from so many. But I got to ask you on the flip side, what, especially after this season too, what have the kids taught you about yourself?
It's
a good question.
Yeah, it's a good question. I guess I would say just enjoy the moment and just the blessings that I have, and I've learned from past experiences. There's certain things I can control and certain things I cannot, and I just learned to kind of go with it and just make sure I maintain expectations. But going back again is just managing people and managing a great number of kids, but making sure that they all feel worthy of being on a team and that they're all recognized and respected. From me and the assistant coach, and then from the teammates as well. I want that to be understood too, is that we were going to respect each other, and so it's just a matter of I just reignited my passion again to kind of start this process over being a head coach and rebuilding a program. So it's going to be a fun experience, and there's just the great support that we had from the community, and just having you guys involved and Wade involved was like that's something I haven't had in the past. I had that with up in Green Bay with a guy who now works for the Packers writing staff, but he was a Cub reporter for the Press Gazette, and he was, always come out and interviewing me too. So just to have that support that you guys provide has also been great too. To just taught me more about a sense of community.
Well, we're joined by Mike Price today, the head coach of the boys and girls Beaver Dam track and field team. We got rapid fire questions on the other side of the
right.
break. Gonna have some obscure ones for you, so I'm looking forward to that. But thank you for joining us today, Coach. We're gonna step aside for one final break today on the Dam Sports Show here on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV. Welcome back to the Damn Sports Show. We're joined by head coach of the boys and girls track team, Michael Price. Mike Price, you prefer, right?
Prefer, yep.
All right, cool. Well, we got Mike Price in the building.
Mikey Mike.
And we got rapid fire questions for you. I got to start. If you could domesticate any animal in the world, what are you picking?
Cheetah.
A cheetah?
Yep.
Pet cheetah?
Yep.
Yeah, that ready.
Would you prefer to be lost in space or lost at sea?
Lost at sea.
That's the right answer, Pablo. Sorry, you're incorrect. How about favorite athlete of all time?
From my experience working Packers training camp, Tremont Williams.
If you could pick any superpower, what would you want?
Invisibility.
Favorite holiday? He's
so
ready
to go.
Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
Absolutely.
No! Coach, you're doing well.
Absolutely.
How about, what's your favorite death row meal? Like, what would you have? One meal for the rest of your life, what do you have?
Probably ham and potatoes.
If you could sit down at dinner, living or dead, what celebrity would you sit down with?
Eddie Van Halen.
Ooh.
Coach, it's been a pleasure getting to know you a little bit today. We want to thank you again for showing up, but good luck going forward, too, as well.
Thank you for having me on and taking the time to support the track and field team. So great to be here.
Amen. That's going to do it for us on the Damn Sports Show. We'll see you back same time, same place tomorrow.